Right then, pull up a chair, grab a pint, or a cup of tea if you're feeling proper, because today we're diving headfirst into the high seas chaos of a man who was either one of history's most misunderstood privateers or a bloody useless pirate, Captain William Kidd. Aye, that William Kidd. The guy who might have buried treasure, lost his head, and became the OG scapegoat for a royal political mess. Let's get into it. Imagine this. You're a Scottish lad, turned sea captain, hired by the crown to chase pirates, and you end up swinging from a noose as one. That's the legend of William Kidd, a man who went from royal favour to pirate infamy faster than you can say, yo ho ho. Was he a rogue with a cutlass, or a pawn in a political blame game? Let's raid the past and find out. Will Kidd was born in Dundee, Scotland, probably around 1654, which, let's be honest, wasn't exactly a peaceful time to pop into the world. Scotland was bouncing between monarchs and wars like a drunk sailor in a hammock. Kidd eventually made his way to New York, back when it was still more beaver pelts than Broadway. There, he rubbed elbows with the colonial elite, married a wealthy widow, smart lad, and made a decent name for himself as a sea captain. Not yet a pirate, mind you. He even donated to the local church. I mean, what kind of pirate funds pews? But life on land doesn't pay like life on the water. Kidd wanted more. Here's where it gets spicy. In 1695, England was neck deep in war and piracy. Merchants were getting robbed left and right. And Parliament decided, let's hire privateers. Basically pirates with a license to deal with it. Kidd gets his hands on a commission, signed by bloody King William III himself, to go hunt down pirates in the Indian Ocean. Backers included high-ranking English nobles. This was like getting the Queen's blessing to kick arse, as long as you stuck to the rules. He set sail aboard the Adventure Galley, a hybrid beast of a ship, half sails, half oars. And off he goes to the Indian Ocean to chase pirates and bag some bounties. Or so the plan went. Here's where Kidd's career veers off faster than a cannonball off course. The pirate hunting gig doesn't go as planned. He misses his targets, crew morale tanks, and disease spreads. His crew starts grumbling like old sea dogs, and Kidd? He starts eyeing some grey area loot. And then, boom. He attacks the Quedagh merchant, an Armenian ship captained by an Englishman and flying French passes. Technically, it was legal plunder, he thought, but it wasn't a good look back home. The Quedagh merchant was loaded with gold, silk, and spices. Kidd takes it, and suddenly everyone back in London is screaming, "Pirate!" His noble backers, they start sweating harder than a sailor with scurvy. Parliament needs a distraction, and guess who's now the fall guy? By the way, get this. When Kidd buried some treasure, yes, actual buried treasure, on Gardiner's Island off Long Island, it wasn't because he was hiding it for fun. It was an insurance policy. He thought he could buy his way out of trouble, and weirdly enough, this is one of the only legit documented pirate treasures ever recovered. So yeah, eat your heart out, Blackbeard. Kidd returns to the colonies, thinking he can smooth things over. He even turns himself in. Big mistake. The Crown is done with him. He's politically radioactive. He gets shipped off to London in chains. And despite all the grey areas in his case, French passes, royal commissions, confused ownerships, he's put on trial for piracy and murder for allegedly killing a gunner named William Moore during an argument with a bucket. It's not exactly a fair trial. Witnesses vanish, evidence is sketchy, and the Crown's like, off with his head. Well, more accurately, hang him. On May 23rd, 1701, Kidd is hanged on the banks of the Thames, except, plot twist, the rope snaps. He survives the first drop, the crowd goes wild, but alas, the second try does the trick. Then, just to rub salt in the wound, his body is tarred and gibbeted, hung in a metal cage along the river as a warning to all would-be pirates. For 2 whole bloody years. Talk about overkill. So let's break this down. Was Kidd morally clear? Honestly, it's murky. He tried to follow the rules. He had a license, damn it. But the sea doesn't play fair, and neither does politics. Was he a man of purpose or just a bloke chasing loot? both. He wanted success, glory, a future. But when it all turned belly up, he didn't pivot quick enough. He bet on legal nuance and lost to politics. Genius or fool? Somewhere in the middle. Kidd was competent, just not conniving enough to outwit Parliament and the Crown when they needed a scapegoat. What if Kidd had just stayed in New York with his rich wife and sipped brandy? Or what if he'd actually caught a few big-name pirates instead of half-legal merchant ships? Maybe he'd be remembered as a colonial hero, not a cautionary tale in chains. But hey, the sea loves irony. So there you have it, Captain William Kidd. Pirate? Kind of. Patsy? Probably. Legend? Definitely. He was a man crushed between empires, expectations, and his own missteps. And while history painted him with the same brush as Blackbeard and Bartholomew Roberts, he didn't quite deserve the gallows, or the bad PR. He died disgraced, but his story still lingers like a half-drunk ghost at the bottom of a bottle. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay just sober enough to remember it all. This was just a swig of history, and if it wasn't in your textbook, it bloody well should have been. And before you go, do a brother fav and like, share and subscribe.